How's it going, everybody? Chris Card's back through the mail Monday. 8 returns for you today, including our very first one back from Baltimore, Maryland. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Congratulations on making it to December 1st today. And we've got Mr. Terry Crowley here on a 1974 Topps traded card for my set. It's one of those moments where I sent the 74 Topps card previously and then forgot he had a traded card. So sent this one out, $5 a card from Mr. Terry Crowley, who spent 15 years in the bigs, 12 with the Orioles, of course. Also spent some time playing for the Reds, Expos, and the Braves. Of course, part of that Orioles team in the late 60s, early 70s that won 3 straight pennants, and of course winning it all in 1970. Also won it with the 75 Reds and won it again with the Twins in 91 as a coach. Longtime coach after his playing career was over with. Nice return from Terry Crowley. Never played more than 92 games in a season. Always a pinch hitter. And played left field, outfield, infield, played all the positions. So there you guys go. Terry Crowley, good signer. Let's move on, my friends, to return number 2. Next return is from the Metroplex in Michigan, right there on the envelope, as you can see. And we've got a letter of request back as well as a blank index card. And we've got Chuck Brinkman here on a 74 Topps card. Another 74 Topps card signed for the set. Mr. Brinkman played from 69 to 74, 6 years in the bigs, mostly for the White Sox. Played his final year with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 306 plate appearances, 172 batting average, and 1 home run. His teammates presented him 1 home run ball in a plastic case for him the next day in his locker room. He probably still has that home run ball. Probably a question I should have asked him if I thought about it ahead of time, but I did not. Chuck Brinkman, very nice return from him. Of course, his brother Ed Brinkman was a Gold Glove winning shortstop for many years in the big leagues, coached for many years as well. Catcher, Mr. Brinkman was a catcher, which probably kept him around a little bit longer in the big leagues, considering his woeful offensive numbers. Pretty good behind the plate. Nice return from Mr. Charles Brinkman. Nice return from him. Moving on to return number 3. All right, moving right along, gang. Return number 3 from Phoenix, Arizona. We've got index card, unsigned, as well as a 74 Topps quad rookie of Mr. Steve Ontiveros, as well as a 78 Topps card and a SSPC card. 75, I do believe, maybe 76, 77, one of those years. Nice return from Steve Ontiveros, 8 years in the bigs, 4 with the Cubs, 4 with the Giants. Went on to play 5 years in Japan. Very productive 5 years in Japan. Should be able to get Dave Augustine and Ken Griffey via a private signing. Jim Tyrone, a pretty good signer for $5 a card, but he has been missing in action for the last couple years. So if anyone's got an inside line on Jim Tyrone, I would love to get this card completed. I know Ken Griffey just had a private signing, which I missed out on. I think he's $50 a card now, so hopefully he'll have another one soon. Steve Ontiveros, of course, played sporadically in the infield during those 8 years in the big leagues. Nice return from him. $5 a card for Steve, FYI. Another nice return. Moving right along, guys. We got return number 4 incoming. All right, friends, moving right along. Next return is going to be from St. Louis, Missouri. Right there on the envelope, as you can see. And we've got a multi-signed card here. We've got Eddie Fisher and Sonny Sebert. Need to send that off to Sam McDowell next. And, of course, a couple of 74 Topps Cardinals team cards. Sonny Sebert had a nice little 12-year career, 2-time All-Star. Played for mostly the Red Sox and the Indians. Also spent time in Texas, Oakland, and San Diego. Got into 28 games in 1974 for the St. Louis Cardinals. And that's why I sent him the 74 Topps Cardinals team card, already signed by Al Hrabosky, Orlando Pena. A few others on there I don't quite recognize at the moment. Thankfully, I've got a little cheat sheet. I make sure I write on a spreadsheet who I send off to and who I get back and sign those cards. So that list is growing continuously. I know Claude Osteen might be a nice candidate to get this sent off to and signed next. Sam McDowell, I think he's $5 a card as well. So as you can see, he inscribed a 2-time All-Star on that 65 ERA leaders card. And of course, trying to get Sam McDowell to inscribe that with his All-Star appearances as well. Thought that would be kind of a cool little project, and hope to get that sent off to very soon and back very quickly. So there you guys go. Sonny Sebert, $7 a card. Nice return from him. Let's move on, guys, to our next return. All right, friends, next return is going to be from Greensboro, North Carolina. The Piedmont Triad area. As you can see, we got D. Such here on the return address. We got Mr. Dick Such. Careful, Chris. We got some answered questions back. Vintage, that'll be a 1971 Topps card. And he did inscribe the Senators card with his Major League Baseball debut, Gene Martin. He hasn't signed in a couple of years. He's the only one I could possibly get on that card. But Dick Such, nice return from him. Played for 1 year in the big leagues for the Senators in 1970. Got into 21 games that year in 1970. Did not fare very well. Kind of went on to be a pitching coach and actually had a pretty good career as a coach after his playing days were over with. How many autograph requests do you get each week or month? He says 5 per week. Do you have any pet peeves? Anything that annoys you? He says yes. Those cards without address returns like yours. Sorry about that, Mr. Such. I am now putting an address label on there, though, a return address label on there going forward. Do you still follow the game? Some. It has changed too much for me now. So that's the return from Dick Such. He did answer the questions. Very nice. I don't normally figure these guys will fill out the return address labels. In fact, 95% of the guys I send off to don't. In fact, it's probably more than 95. It's probably like 98%. So I think only a handful of people actually have written it in there, and a couple others have actually put stickers on there. So I have started using a stamp, though, and an alternate address to put a return label on there going forward. He didn't get one of those envelopes, unfortunately. But there you guys go. Dick Such, good signer. Went 0-16 1 year in the minor leagues, AA for the Senators. 2.81 ERA that season, though, so go figure how you go 0-16 with that good of an ERA. Obviously pitched into some bad luck. But there you guys go, former Senator Dick Such. Let's move on, guys, to our next return. All right, friends, moving right along. Mobile, Alabama, our next return. Index card, unsigned. We are moving much faster than we did last week. 8 returns this week, 7 returns last week, and last week it just took forever to get through those envelopes. We got a 74 Topps team card. Lots of team cards in this week's Through the Mail Monday. I'm trying to hit them hard, get them signed by as many people as possible here. Jim Mason signed a team card that already has Ron Swoboda on it. Swoboda did not sign the signature card, unfortunately, even though I did pay him the $5 to sign it. 2 72 Topps rookie cards already signed by Ragland. Need to get Fahey on it next. Yes, when I send extras, I usually offer them to the players, but this time I want both these cards completed. I think they're going to look pretty sweet. And I didn't want to play the game of waiting 6 months and setting off another one, so I just got them both signed at once. He was very gracious enough to do that. He was a Yankee, 74-76, including, of course, the AL winning 1976 New York Yankees, who got swept against the Reds that year. In fact, Jim Mason had 1 postseason at-bat that year in the World Series and hit a home run. In fact, it was the 500th home run hit in World Series history, so that's pretty cool. 203 career hitter. In fact, they wanted to change the Mendoza line. Of course, Mario Mendoza, who was a career 215 hitter, they wanted to change it to the Mason-Dixon line in honor of Jim Mason and Leo Dixon, a catcher who hit much, much closer to 200 than Mendoza did. I don't think it's stuck. I still hear Mendoza line. I've never heard Mason-Dixon line. But anyway, there you guys go. Some fun trivia for Jim Mason. Awesome signer. Moving on, my friends. Let's get to our next return. All right, gang, moving right along. We've got San Jose, California for our 7th return of the day. We got 1 more envelope to open up after this one. So stay with me here as we complete this week's Through the Mail Monday with Dave Righetti. Dave Righetti on an 84 Topps card signed for the set, as well as an 84 Topps highlights card. Going to be tough getting that completed, unfortunately. Dave Righetti, a former first-round draft pick, 10th overall, way back in 1977 of the Rangers. Spent 16 years in the big leagues, mostly with the Yankees, 11 years with the big leagues, 3 years with the Gigantes, and, of course, played a little bit with the Toronto Blue Jays, the Chicago White Sox, as well as the Athletics. 2-time All-Star, won the Rookie of the Year in 1981, beating out Rich Gedman and Bob Ojeda. Lucky he wasn't in the NL that year. Fernando had that on lockdown on the NL side of things as far as the Rookie of the Year is concerned. Former junior college player of the year, beating out his teammate at the time, Dave Stieb, of course, also future Toronto Blue Jay. Nice return here from Mr. Dave Righetti. Of course, spent 17 years as a coach for the Gigantes. In fact, that's who I sent this off to, is the Giants towards the end of last year. I do believe August or September, I think I sent this off. Not last year, but this year, a couple months ago. So $10 a card. I do believe I sent him a $20 bill and 2 cards. He used to sign 1 per a few years ago. You can find him on some older Through the Mail Mondays. I think I got him. But I think he stopped doing that, and I think it's now pay to play with Dave Righetti. So, of course, World Series champion with the Giants in, let's see if I can get this right, 2010, 2012, and 2014, I do believe, as a coach, of course, for that team. Dave Righetti, nice to get a couple of these cards signed for my set. Moving on, my friends, we got one more return. Let's get to it. North Texas, Texas. Can't have a Through the Mail Monday without one return from North Texas, Texas. In fact, I think this is the only return from Texas. Now, there's something large in here, so I'm being extra careful with this. I don't want to rip anything important. Probably an extra, definitely an extra, because I see it right there. You see it as well. And we've got Fergie Jenkins, Hall of Famer, 91. Cubs Hall of Famer, Rangers Hall of Famer, 3-time All-Star. Inducted in 1991. I had a couple of 84 Topps cards I needed him to sign. And if I can get them out, I will show them to you. Here they are. We've got Steve Carlton as well on one of them. Unfortunately, not able to get Seaver. And Keith Moreland on the other. Eventually, via a private signing, I will probably be able to complete that one day. Of course, that's going to hurt because I think last private signing, Moreland was like $40 a card, that's a tough pill to swallow. But it'll complete the card, so $40. He was a World Series champion in 1980. Not Fergie, but Moreland with the Phillies. Anyway, I digress. Ferguson Jenkins, $40 a card. That hurts too, but when you're going after these sets, you just do what you got to do. Ferguson Jenkins, as I said, Cubs Hall of Famer, Rangers Hall of Famer, 19 years in the bigs, 10 of those with the Cubs, 6 with the Texas Rangers. Also played a little bit for the Red Sox and the Filthies. Nice return from Fergie. And there you guys go. Here is this week's haul. Put it in the books. Another successful Through the Mail Monday, number 358. 358 of these in a row. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to join us on our weekly trip into opening mail. How exciting can you possibly get? In my opinion, probably one of the most exciting channels on YouTube. And if you want to see me open mail every Monday, you can subscribe if you want, but you know what? I have lots of subscriptions. I still pretty much get to see everything. It usually suggests everything I want to see anyway, without subscriptions. Although sometimes it just stops suggesting like certain channels, like I'll go 6 months and be like, oh, I haven't seen a suggestion for that video in a long time. And for whatever reason, it just falls out of the suggestion rotation. So if you want to keep tabs on old Chris Cards, hit that subscribe button. That'd be awesome. Comment down below, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of this week's returns. Of course, we're in December, last month of the year. 2025 is coming to an end. I've got my yearly Through the Mail Monday recap coming up in about 1 month, where I go over every single card I get back this year. I double up, sometimes triple up on the card savers, so it's not as long as you'll think it is. I don't technically go through every card, but you'll see every player I got back this year. There's a few guys you won't see because they'll be in my binders. Like one 89 Upper Deck guy I only got one signed card and that's gone, so it's obviously not in my collection for the year. So it's 98 to 97% accurate, but that'll be fun to do. And then, of course, I'll turn the page on my spreadsheet to 2026 and start a new year. 2025, I think I'm at about 440 requests sent out for the year. I sent out a lot. And I think I've got a little Ryan Sandberg sort of hangover where after he passed, I kind of ran into a few cards I really wished I would have sent him. And I had I had years to just send it to him, and I never sent them to him. So I'm not sure if any of you out there are feeling like I'm feeling, but Rhino wasn't that old. Of course, he did battle cancer over the last couple years. He was in remission, and then you kind of read the tea leaves earlier in the year, and you knew it wasn't good. And I didn't. Lots of people sent. That's fine. He obviously signed. He had no problem signing it, and let's be honest, taking your money too. So he had no problem doing any of that. Pretty much up until his last days. I mean, he was a TTM hero, so pretty awesome. But I didn't jump on that bandwagon and send off during those last few months of his life. Like I said, the last thing I got sent off was a 87 Topps checklist, which makes me kind of feel like a dummy now because I got that back, and I'm like, now I've changed my mind on my checklist. I'm going to try to get them signed by umpires. So I got a random 87 Topps checklist signed by Ryan Sandberg. I don't really know what to do with. In the meanwhile, I've got, there's one card with him and Hawk. There's a lot of dual cards. I think there's a 91 Fleer of him and like turning a double play, and like Sid Bream is sliding in. Like I can get that one signed by Sid and Ryan. I mean, there's so many cool cards I've come across. I've been going through my old cards back from when I was a kid. I found my 93 Upper Deck set, my 92 Upper Deck set, 91, 90 Upper Deck, a lot of Score, a Fleer, Stadium Club cards. So I've come across a lot of cards, and I've just been going through them looking for TTM fuel, basically. And I've come across a lot of Rhino cards. I'm like, man, that would have been sweet, because he's on a lot of cards. And I forgot how cool 93 Upper Deck was. They have all those cards of all the team players, and there's 3 or 4. There's a one with Molitor and Pat Listash and someone else. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's a cool card. And of course, now Mark Grace is signing. So of course, every time I see a card, it's Rhino and Mark Grace, and I'm like, gosh dang it. And yeah, it's the Fleer, 91 Fleer with Hawk and Rhino, and it's 91 Fleer with Rhino and Cecil, and I'm like, God. Now I'm seeing all these cards and remembering about them, and now I'm just like, God dang it, I can't get them signed now. So, God, these are some cool cards to send off and try to get multi-signatures on them, But so, like I said, not to get distracted from the point I was trying to make, I have a little Rhino hangover. So I've been sending off to Wade Boggs, Molitor, Cecil Fielder. Not just Hall of Famers. Cecil Fielder, obviously not a Hall of Famer, but just cards I would like to get signed, and I'm not waiting 2 years to get them signed. So just sent off a bunch of requests the last couple months or so. So you'll be seeing me get those back. And I think I sent off a couple to Paul Molitor. I think there's a rumor that Paul Molitor is raising his prices from $20 a card to $40 a card starting December 1st. So did I send him 3 requests in the last month? Yeah, I might have. So we'll see. When someone's about to raise their prices, I'm very wary about sending them more money, because then I think I'll just get 1 of 3 cards signed or 1 of 2 cards signed, and he'll keep the money. So just sent $20 a card. So I sent 2 cards and $40. I guess worst case scenario, he keeps $40 and I get 1 card signed. But trying to get a few of those cards signed, including that 93 Upper Deck card I told you about. Who else? I'm drawing a blank now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, there's a lot of paid guys. Mike Mussina, I think I sent him off a couple requests in the last couple months too. So, I mean, these guys aren't going to be, they're only going to eventually increase their price. Hopefully not, but they're either going to increase their price or they're not going to be around to sign anymore. So either one of those scenarios, you sort of get a fear of missing out. And I don't really have a fear of missing out with Rhino, because I had a long time to send him some of those cool cards and get them signed, and I didn't. So maybe now I've got FOMO, because I'm like, well, I got to get this Upper Deck card signed by Cecil Fielder and the Chicken Man. So that's going to look sweet. And I got to do this and I got to do that. And there's a few cards on there kind of on my bucket list. So, and I'm not going to lie, that 92 Upper Deck set is sweet. And if you see me getting a bunch of those cards coming back here soon, don't be surprised. So, sending off to a lot more modern guys, and by modern I mean 90s. I do mostly do, of course, 70s, 80s. So, some 90s, but not many 90s. So we'll be getting lots of 90s back. Anyway, guys, yeah, filming this a little early, filming this Saturday morning instead of Sunday. So got the Ducks and Washington game to watch later on today. Go Ducks. A little worried about that. Huskies always seem to have the Ducks number. They always seem to stub their toe against the Huskies. So we'll see how that goes. Texas A&M lost today. That was, or yesterday, last night. That was kind of crazy. Arch got them. And hope everyone's Thanksgiving was great. Mine was really good. I spatchcocked my first turkey and smoked it, and it came out great. I even I not only ripped out the spine and flattened it, I also ripped out the breastplate. So as soon as that thing came out of the smoker, I just cut that thing in half, and it was just two symmetrical pieces of turkey, and it was a joy to carve. It was very easy. So that was a lot of fun. Made my first green bean casserole. That came out much better than I thought. Never had green bean casserole before. It was just me, my wife, and my nephew and my niece. My sister was en route driving cross country to South Carolina, where she's moving to, and my nephew is going to OSU. He's a Beaver, and then my niece is staying with me for the time being, finishing high school online. So she's hanging out with me so she can walk with her class in Portland when she graduates here in a few months. Then she's going to join her family back in South Carolina. So pretty much my entire family has left me here in Oregon all by myself. So that's a bummer. But I enjoyed Thanksgiving with the little family I have left in the area. Mom is my mom, who stays with me for 4 or 5 months out of the year. She spent it in Memphis with my brother, and then she'll be heading back to Pennsylvania here in a month. My sister's in Pennsylvania. She just got done with a European trip. I think she went to Spain and a few other countries with her 2 kids and her husband. So it's been a crazy traveling year here for the Chris Cards clan. So people are all spread out all over the place, but very thankful. Of course, missing Russell. He for sure would have been here hanging out with us for Thanksgiving. He would have enjoyed the turkey. Yeah, just what a year, guys. Almost coming to an end. 2026. Can you believe it? What are the Mets doing? All right, gang. I'll talk to you later. See ya.